before you got here, they were like, was this anything like bringing Mike Tyson into your career? And I'm like, no, I thought Tyson was great for the eyes on the business.
Yeah.
Did that really help me? I don't think so. I mean, it was great to do business with him. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But
no, so actually I feel like it's actually kind of the opposite. The character was headed in a direction, and I know they wanted to do something with Logan. And I was like, oh, there's a way to tie this together so perfectly, because his whole thing is social media reach. And my whole thing is I'm trying to get eyes on the conspiracy. So I kind of formulated the reasoning for the character to want to be associated with Logan Paul.
Right.
So it was kind of, it happened to be, it was a layup. It was right there on the shelf.
So, but with the establishment of this character and where you're at now, having a defined character does make telling stories and angles makes the storytelling process much easier.
Oh my God, for sure. And so one of the big things, and you touched on it a little bit, is where I am now. I got there from here, and that's been a kind of natural and organic thing. And I think that is what I think that's sometimes what's missing in our product. Sometimes we just start something,
right?
Or sometimes we just end something and we just start something new. And there's no bleeding in from what we just did. So the more you can kind of take what you were doing and let it kind of morph on its own before the fans' eyes, the better. And even same thing for you, right? I mean, it wasn't just like, okay, now I'm doing this Stone Cold thing. They saw the progression, and they were along for the ride. And that's what, I can't pinpoint exactly what, but that's what took you to crazy heights, is that they were along for that journey with you.
Yeah, I always felt like,
and I'm not equating the two by any means.
No, but I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
I was like, I had 7 years of equity as Stunning Steve, and then then I was a ringmaster, and I had zero identity. I think when I was just at least finding who I was in the business, then it resonated. I had a fan base that was kind of with me, but not on the masses. But then it snowballed and turned into a thing. But I digress. Let's go back to you. As of late, you've been associating yourself with the bloodline. Let's throw the clip.
Paul, tonight you used your influence to perhaps alter the entrance, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, in a Money in the Bank ladder match.
Paul Heyman, one of the greatest promos in the history of the business, says nothing, and you take over.
Yeah, Paul's great.
There you go.
Paul's another one of those guys where I think I'm pretty good, and then Paul...
Watch this.
You don't have to answer any questions this supposed journalist has to ask. Yeah, you know what you
Watch your expression and watch your hands, because here's what I'm talking about.
Didn't you? She tried to imply that if I won the Money in the Bank match, when I win the Money in the Bank match, she tried to infer that I would cash it in on Roman Reigns. Wise man. The honorary use would never cash in on Roman Reigns.
Here we go. Watch.
I'd cash in on Brock Lesnar.
There's no talking my way to this one. All right.
You got to get the F out. But not a word said, but the expression with the eyes, the mouth, and the hands. That's what I mean. I think
that might be some influence from the hood.
I just like, you didn't say and it meant so much.
Yeah. That, I definitely think those kind of things definitely come from the years and years under the hood.
Paul Heyman, do you guys get along very well?
Yeah. I quite like when wrestling has nothing to do with it, actually. That's when I like talking to him the most.
Right.
Yeah. But he's kind of like a dinosaur. And I told him this to his face, but in the nicest way possible. I'm like, you're a dinosaur walking the earth. Because this is a guy that, he worked for Vince Sr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's still here and still relevant, still in the top storyline. And he's been through all these phases of the business that don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
And we have him at our disposal. So that's when I enjoy Paul the most, is when I get to sit down and just hear him. He was telling me a story the other day about him backstage at Madison Square Garden at 14, interviewing Andy Kaufman with Freddie Blassie. And I'm like, listen to, Are you hearing this?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, you know?
No, because there's not too many people alive.
No, exactly.
He was smart enough to weasel his way, and a fan enough.
Yeah.
And the smarts and balls enough to get himself back there in those situations. And those were hardcore veterans that were sitting down, just talking shop with this kid.
Let me tell you a story, and I don't know if I should tell it, but I'll tell it anyway. And it touches on something I said earlier about this maybe insecurity I have about getting respect or wanting to be seen in a certain light, which I've actually parlayed into the character, because that's the whole character's thing now. And the thing that's driving him is not getting respect, and he needs respect. How do you get respect? You get it with the bloodline. So that's, it's actually turned a bit of art imitating life here. But I'll tell you this story. So I was talking with Paul about wanting to get in with Roman and get in and do programs with Brock and do all this stuff. He said something like, "You think I don't like you?" I'm like, "I don't think you don't like me. I think you like me. I just don't think you see me as a top guy."
Do you see yourself as a top guy?
Yeah, but it depends on what a top guy is.
Right.
Can I be the guy on the top of the card? Yeah, for sure. I think so. I have been. On these house shows when Roman's not available, I'm on top with Drew McIntyre, and I go out there and I cut a promo, and I get these people. Let me toot my own horn for a moment. I get them going, I get a ton of heat, and then they're thrilled to see Drew eat me up. Yeah. Like, it's a main event match. I go out there and I know, and if I can do that, to me, those house shows are the barometer. And I know Vince kind of feels that way. Like the house shows are the barometer for what works and what doesn't. Right. And I know it works. I think if I could be plugged in there, I have no self-doubt about delivering the goods if I'm in that position.
I think with your character, with the work, I think the sky's the limit. Okay, so
thank you.
That being said, you're still a young cat, 20 years in, but as I believe you're in your peak. Do you have any goals as a veteran performer?
I'd like to win that title once. Just once. That'd be nice. I don't live and die on these championships or whatever, but it would be nice. And actually the Intercontinental title was the real one I wanted to win because of my favorites growing up.
Right.
You had it, Rock had it, Hunter had it, Brett had it, Kurt Hennig had it. All these guys, the workhorses, had it.
But do you put hey, I want to do this for 7 more years? Do you think like that? Or like, how do you process that?
I don't know.
I had to ride out when I did. And you're just about to turn that, and you're in your prime.
I don't know, because it could be taken away when you're not ready for it.
If it's not taken away,
if it's not taken away, I
just keep going
till the wheels fall off, I suppose. And then when they do, I'd love to run my mouth and be Bobby Heenan or be Paul Heyman or be whoever, But on that note, and like I said, man, when you have the body of work, when you have the scope of work that you can do, and then also the promo part of